International OIDPQS, updated, Wednesday, September 16, 2020, 15:57, IST, Washington, D.C., September 16. U.S. President Donald Trump has made inroads into the Indian American vote bank, the biggest ever by a Republican president, according to a survey which has sent worrying signals to the Democrats that the support of this influential ethnic community can no longer be taken for granted. Trump and Biden. A survey by In Diaspora and Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders, AAPI, data on Tuesday showed that a majority of Indian Americans still favor former Vice President Biden, the Democratic Party's nominee in the November 3 U.S. presidential election. It found that 74-year-old Trump, seeking re-election, is making a big dent into the Indian American vote bank despite the fact that Biden has a strong relationship with the community and played a key role in bilateral ties over the past few decades. Biden, 77, also scripted history last month by selecting Senator Kamala Harris, 55, as his running mate. According to the survey, 66% Indian Americans currently favor Biden and 28% favor Trump, while 6% were undecided. Notably, in the 2016 presidential election, 77% voted for former U.S. Secretary Hillary Clinton, and 16% for Trump. In 2012, as many as 84% Indian Americans voted for Barack Obama. Dr. Karthik Ramakrishnan, professor of public policy and political science at University of California, Riverside and founder of RP Data, who is author of the survey, said that the Indian Americans' support to Trump, in case of a swing of the undecided Indian Americans, would probably reach the 30% mark. Democrats absolutely should be concerned about making sure that they conduct sufficient outreach to the Indian Americans, Indian American Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy said. The Democrats should conduct sufficient outreach to the different groups that comprise Indian Americans, because every vote is going to count, especially in those battleground states, as the survey result indicated, he said. India describes Pakistan as an epicenter of terrorism. One India News. There are a lot of Indian Americans, for instance in key battleground states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Florida, and North Carolina, among others, and they, in conjunction with other Asian Americans, could certainly be a part of the tipping factor, he said, asserting that the Indian Americans would finally come home to the Democratic Party. Seema Nanda, visiting fellow, Harvard Law School Labor and Work-Life Program and former CEO, Democratic National Committee, said, "It is a vote of Indian Americans that this research shows absolutely cannot be taken for granted." While the support for Biden has dropped as compared to Clinton in 2016, the support for the Republican Party has dropped from 19% to 16% in these 4 years. Given the Indian diaspora's increasing political importance in the U.S., it's no surprise they are being courted by both sides of the aisle, said Mr. Rangaswamy, founder of In Diaspora. It's great that both major political parties have begun to realize just how critical it is to reach out to Indian Americans. Our impact is only going to increase over time, he said. Milan Vaishnav, director, South Asia Program, at Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, said, "The Trump campaign has made a lot of efforts, frankly, to reach out to Indian Americans, including putting together a nice video advertisement featuring Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Howdy Modi in Houston last November, showing the camaraderie between the President of the United States and Prime Minister of India." Describing Trump as a polarizing factor, Representative Neeraj Antani from the Ohio State Assembly said that there are a lot of reasons for this swing of votes. The president's outreach to the community, him going to India and standing with the Prime Minister Modi in Houston and Ahmedabad, his neutrality on issues like Citizenship Amendment Act, abrogation of Article 370, as opposed to Vice President Biden's opposition, has polarized the community, Antani said. The swing of Indian Americans from the Democrats towards Trump for the first time was reported by New York-based Al Mason, co-chair of Trump Victory Indian American Finance Committee, Mason, who conducted a survey in battleground states of Florida, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Virginia, and Texas, said the results show as many as 50% of potential Indian American voters, the vast majority of whom traditionally have voted for Democrats in past presidential elections, will defect from the Democratic Party and vote for Trump in 2020. This mass defection could add tens of thousands of new Trump voters in key battleground states and could very well end up helping to secure president's re-election, Mason said as he challenged the results of their latest survey, asserting that the swing of Indian Americans towards Trump is much greater than reported by the survey of InDiaspora and RP data. Indian Americans are positioned to make a difference in several swing states that may be close in this election, such as Florida, 87,000, Pennsylvania, 61,000, Georgia, 57,000, Michigan, 45,000, and North Carolina, 36,000, and perhaps even Texas, which has 160,000 Indian American voters, said Ramakrishnan. Currently, there are 1.8 million Indian Americans in the US who are eligible to vote. Let's block ads. Why?
Show your love for him. Click the link in description. Thanks for watching.